Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, March 30, 2020. Join us for the next 45 minutes as we deliver today's top stories around the globe. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and live via streaming worldwide through UNTV News and Rescue Facebook account and UNTVweb.com. I am William P.
And here are the headlines.
The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines suspends the entire fleet of Lion Air Incorporated pending further investigation after one of its medical evacuation aircraft caught fire last night, killing all passengers aboard. The Department of Health records 128 additional COVID-19 positive cases, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 1,546. The Food and Drug Administration approves 5 rapid antibody test kits that detect COVID-19, but samples must undergo a confirmatory test using a machine-based method. Several countries recall rapid test kits and face masks imported from China due to alleged defects. President Rodrigo Duterte set to deliver a public message on the government's response to COVID-19. And a UNTV exclusive, magnitude 3.4 volcanic earthquake felt in barangays near the Taal volcano.
A plane used as an air ambulance by the Department of Health to fight the coronavirus outbreak burst into flames as it took off from NAIA on Sunday night. No passengers survived the accident. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines says the cockpit voice recorder of the plane retrieved today will greatly help in the investigation of the incident. Joan Nano tells us why.
Around 8 p.m. yesterday, a Westwind Lion Air aircraft exploded on the runway of Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA. All 8 passengers aboard, 6 Filipino crew members, 1 American and 1 Canadian citizen died, including a doctor and a nurse. Based on information relayed by PLM President Noel Leco to the Office of the Manila City Mayor, Dr. Nico Bautista, a PLM College of Medicine 2014 alumnus, was among those who perished. The medical evacuation flight was en route Haneda, Japan, according to authorities. Prior to the explosion, the plane was able to transport medical supplies in Iloilo on Saturday. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, has initially said the aircraft seemingly encountered technical troubles as it was not able to take off from its supposed schedule.
Based on the reports of the Manila Tower, they were alarmed that for such the size of the aircraft, took them some time to take off. Dapat dun sa haba ng take-off roll niya, naka-airborne na siya. So they were alarmed na bakit hindi pa. Kaya sila hawak na nila yung hotline, just in case whatever happens, matawagan na nila kagad yung ating fire crash and rescue. So that really happened.
CAAP was able to retrieve the cockpit voice recorder of the wrecked aircraft this morning. CAAP spokesperson Eric Aplonio explains the cockpit voice recorder will greatly contribute to help in identifying the cause of the accident.
Malaking bagay ito. Makakatulong ito because malalaman natin yung last few minutes and seconds what really are the conversation between the tower at saka sa loob ng cockpit.
Authorities will submit the cockpit voice recorder either in Singapore, Japan, or Australia to decode and analyze its content prior to the explosion. Investigators have also gathered the debris from the ill-fated plane in a private hangar in NAIA, which will also be used in determining why and how the incident happened. But the investigation, which is already underway, may take 6 months to 1 year or longer, depending on the developments of the case. CAAP temporarily suspends the entire Lion Air fleet, halting all of its flights. It can be recalled that on September 2019, a Lion Air unit was involved in a fatal accident which killed 9 people aboard. Lion Air is a chartered flight company operating in the Philippines, different from Lion Air in Indonesia. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The number of COVID-19 cases in the Philippines reaches more than 1,500 as of today. Meanwhile, the Food and Drug Administration has approved 17 PCR-based test kits and 5 rapid antibody test kits. Here's Aiko Miguel to detail why.
Health authorities have recorded 128 new confirmed COVID-19 cases in the Philippines. This brings the total positives in the country to 1,546 as of today. The Department of Health emphasizes the number of confirmed cases continue to rise because of the country's expanding testing capacity. The DOH is also getting results of backlogged samples. Meanwhile, the Food and Drug Administration has approved 17 polymerase chain reaction or PCR-based test kits, like those used in Research Institute for Tropical Medicine or RRTM, and subnational laboratories in Davao, Cebu, and Baguio. PCR-based test kits use swabs from nose and throat to determine or confirm if a person is infected with coronavirus. There are also 5 antibody or rapid test kits approved by the FDA. These test kits have been used in Singapore and China. But the FDA explains these test kits can only determine antibodies and not virus.
Kapag ang tao ay naawaan ng coronavirus na nagdudulot ng COVID-19, may ilang araw po ang lilipas bago makagawa ng antibody sa ating katawan at maging detectable ang antibodies sa dugo. Yung pong antibodies na panlaban kontra sa infection, ito ang hinahanap ng mga test na ito.
DG Domingo also clarifies that PCR-based test kits are still needed for the rapid test kits to confirm the result whether an individual is a COVID-19 virus carrier. Results from rapid test kits are complicated. A doctor or an expert's guidance is needed, as this may bring false positive or false negative results.
Sa madaling salita, hindi po simple ang interpretasyon ng resulta ng rapid test kit. Kaya naman po, mahalaga na doktor ang magbabasa ng resulta upang makapagbigay din ng sapat na payo o nararapat na gagawin pagkatapos po ng test. Importante na mayroon pang maisagawa na confirmatory testing gamit ang PCR-based test kit.
The FDA also calls on the local government officials, agencies, private companies, and hospitals to be very careful and observant in using this kind of test kits. The FDA also calls on the DOH to approve more accredited laboratories to conduct more confirmatory PCR-based tests. Even doctors should help in thoroughly explaining the use of rapid test kits after results are given to individuals. The FDA also warns the public of the circulating news that Prodex B is effective in treating COVID-19. Prodex B is not registered in FDA and is not authorized for public use.
Maging maingat at mapanuri po tayo sa paggamit ng mga peke at hindi rehistrado na gamot at mga kagamitang medikal. Sa kabila ng lahat ng hamon na kaakibat ng COVID-19, ang FDA po ay nananatiling matatag at gagampanan namin ang obligasyon na protektahan ang kalusugan ng bawat Pilipino.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Rodrigo Duterte supports a proposal of COVID-19 mass testing, according to Malacañang. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Customs plans to donate seized medical supplies to COVID-19 frontliners. Rosalie Cos reports why.
President Rodrigo Duterte supports mass testing for coronavirus disease in the country. This is the response of Malacañang to appeals of nationwide testing for the government to undertake particular measures in preventing the spread of COVID-19. But according to Presidential Spokesperson and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo, although the government is leaning toward the conduct of mass testing, this cannot be done with limited resources. The Department of Health says more donations will come apart from the more than 100,000 kits already in the country. The number of laboratories which conduct tests on the infectious disease is also not enough. Rapid testing is not approved as of the moment due to the possibility of false positive or false negative results. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Customs plans to donate to COVID-19 frontliners the medical supplies BOC personnel seized in the past days.
We're already coordinating with the Department of Justice and the National Bureau of Investigation, and we're finalizing some plans to be able for the Bureau of Customs to assist itong na-raid po ng NBI At pati na rin ho yung na-raid namin last week na mga overpriced alcohol, mapabilis po agad ang forfeiture nito para ho ma-donate na natin dun sa mga frontliners natin na nangangailangan.
The BOC has recently confiscated around 5 million pesos worth of overpriced medical items such as face masks, gloves, and rubbing alcohol in Binondo, Manila. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, Spain has suspended the use of Chinese test kits to detect coronavirus after being found to be faulty. Officials said the testing kits had only a 30% accuracy rate rather than the 80% rate that they had expected. Jovic Vermas tells us why.
Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez announced on Saturday that some test kits supplied by a Chinese company would be replaced after they were deemed to be too inaccurate to diagnose patients with coronavirus. Spain's Ministry of Health, Consumer Affairs and Social Welfare said in a statement that test kits supplied by Shenzhen BioEasy were defective and had failed to correctly diagnose people when tested at hospitals.
Fíjense, si somos garantistas.
In this very particular case, they have been returned to the provider and a different test with guarantees is going to be supplied.
Test rápidos.
Sanchez said the test failed to be approved by the Carlos III Public Health Institute and that different testing kits would be supplied by the same company. Shenzhen BioEasy said in a statement that the incorrect results may be a result of a failure to collect samples or use the kits correctly. The firm said it had not adequately communicated with clients how to use the kits. Spain prepared to enter its third week under near total lockdown on Sunday, as the government approved a strengthening of measures to curb the spread of the coronavirus, and the death toll rose by 838 cases overnight to 6,528. Second only to Italy in fatalities, Spain also saw infections rise to 78,797 from 72,248 the day before. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, in a televised address to the nation on Saturday night, announced that all non-essential workers must stay at home for 2 weeks, the latest government measure in the fight against coronavirus. He said workers would receive their usual salaries but would have to make up lost hours at a later date. The measure would last from March 30th to April 9th. Jovic Bermas, UNTV News and Rescue, Europe. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And now let's get the latest tally of the coronavirus cases around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has now reached a total of 724,945 confirmed cases in 177 countries. The fast-spreading disease has also claimed 34,041 lives, with 152,314 recovered patients across the world. Over the weekend, the United States of America has reached 100,000 confirmed cases, the highest around the world, with a total of 143,055 cases and 2,513 deaths. Italy still has the most coronavirus-related deaths globally, with 10,779 fatalities and 97,689 confirmed cases. As of March 30, 2020, China has a total of 82,156 confirmed cases, followed by Spain with 80,110, Germany with 62,435, and France with 40,723 cases. Meanwhile, the Philippines records 128 new cases today, bringing the total of confirmed cases to 1,546 persons. 7 new deaths were also recorded, bringing the total death toll to 78. Up to date, there are now a total of 42 recovered patients in the Philippines. Welcome back. President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to deliver a public message on the government's response to the coronavirus disease 2019 in the country. This as announced by presidential spokesperson and chief presidential legal counsel Salvador Panelo. According to the palace officials, the president met with concerned government agencies today and is set to deliver his message after this. The chief executive has undergone self-quarantine since March 28 Saturday in accordance with the recommendations of the Presidential Security Group and his doctors. However, President Duterte continues to work and heads the government's response against coronavirus. He also conducts his meetings through phone calls and video teleconferencing. Amid the growing demand for medical supplies, some countries have been recalling supposed faulty medical equipment shipped from China. Harleen Delgado tells us why.
In the Netherlands, around 600,000 face masks manufactured in China have been recalled as they did not meet quality standards. According to the Dutch government, the shipment that contained 1.3 million FFP2 or N95 masks arrived on March 21. The Dutch Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sport said the mask didn't fit well over the face while the filters were defective. Part of the shipment had already been distributed to health professionals. The distribution of the masks from the shipment has been put on hold. Dutch authorities will conduct additional tests on new shipments. In a Facebook post through the Chinese embassy in the Netherlands account, Ambassador Zhu Hong says the embassy is now paying attention to the isolated incident, while the Netherlands is looking into the situation. This is not the first time that a country has complained about supposed faulty medical supplies from China. Last week, Spain recalled rapid test kits purchased from a national supplier from Chinese company Shenzhen BioEasy Technologies. According to Spain's Ministry of Health, Consumer Affairs and Social Welfare, it ordered the withdrawal following the low sensitivity results detected in parallel testing. However, the Chinese embassy in Spain revealed the company has not yet been officially licensed by the National Administration of Medical Products of China to sell its products. The company vows to replace the kits deemed to reveal inaccurate results. Other countries such as Czech Republic and Turkey have also reported received faulty test kits from China. In the Philippines, the Department of Health has clarified that test kits donated by the Chinese government are at par with those from the World Health Organization. The DOH explained the test kits mentioned, which registered 40% detection rate, were of another brand donated by a private foundation. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
SSS pensioners can receive their pension for the month of April as early as this month. Meanwhile, SSS members can also avail the Calamity Assistance Loan Program online. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Social Security System or SSS pensioners have been able to avail their April pension since March 23. Pensioners may inquire with their banks, according to SSS President and CEO Aurora Ignacio.
Depende ho sa bangko na nagka-credit sa kanila. Kung na-accommodate lahat na ho ng bangko na ma-credit, balamang ho hanggang first week of April na credit na ho lahat ng pension ng April.
Meanwhile, SSS members can avail the benefits of the Calamity Loan Assistance Program through online transactions next month. Loan is payable for 2 years with a 10% interest. There is no need to present any documents for as long as the SSS member who wishes to avail this calamity loan is affected by the work stoppage due to the enhanced community quarantine.
Buong bansa po ang nakakalamity, so this is the first time na magkakaroon tayo ng ganitong klaseng availment na buong bansa ang pwede as long as they are unemployed.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman suggests the launching of a clinic and a pharmacy on wheels to help the public, especially during the enhanced community quarantine period. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Travel is very much restricted during the enhanced quarantine period. To help the public, especially the marginalized and poor sector, to receive essential medicines and medical services, Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman suggests for the Department of Health to launch Clinic and Botica, or Pharmacy on Wheels. The Clinic and Botica on Wheels will provide free medicines and medical services. Through this, the poor need not to travel to malasakit centers, health centers, or rural health units just to get medicines or to consult a doctor. Congressman Lagman says this move can help reduce the risk of contamination and the spread of COVID-19. Lagman adds that among the free medicines to be given to the public should be multivitamins, ascorbic acid or vitamin C, pain and fever medications, cough and cold remedies, antifungal and antibacterial ointments, first aid supplies, and contraceptives. For medical services, Lagman suggests to include prenatal and postnatal care, blood pressure and blood sugar level readings, medical consultations, immunizations for the children and babies, and simple lab tests. The lawmakers said funds should be provided by the Department of Health coming from their 2020 budget. These include a 19 billion peso fund for the purchase and allocation of drugs, medicines, and vaccines, the 10.5 billion peso budget for Social Health Protection Program, the 2 billion peso fund for family health, nutrition, and responsible parenting, and the 600 million pesos Quick Response Fund. Lagman adds that the DOH, together with its regional offices, should cooperate with the local government units to make sure that the medical needs of the public, especially those of the poor, are addressed. The Department of Health has yet to comment on the lawmakers' suggestion. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City. We serve the public, we give glory to God.
Young people mostly enjoy going out, enjoying outdoor activities. But as the home quarantine protocol has been imposed by the government to curb the spread of the novel coronavirus in the country, the youth must stay at home. President Rodrigo Duterte has advised the Filipino youth to be productive even just at home. Find out some indoor activities some young people keep themselves busy with. Let's watch this report.
Gen Z, or the new generation, the youngest people on the planet, born between 1995 and 2015, according to the breakdown of age as of 2019. Born at the time of information age, when knowledge in digital technology and social media has increased. During this enhanced community quarantine period, what do young people usually engage in? Camille Jordan Aloba, a third-year law student in University of Santo Tomas, continues to study her lessons despite the class suspension.
Sa university po kasi namin, nasuspend po muna yung mga online classes. And instead, binibigyan kami ng mga assigned readings ng professors namin para pag-resume ng classes, hindi kami ganun gahol sa oras para habulin kung ano yung mga na-miss namin mga topics.
She takes advantage of this time for family bonding. Iris, Jean, and Wena, on the other hand, assist their parents in their store.
Pagdating ng mga around 1 to 4, kasi mostly wala naman tao dito sa tindahan, nagbabasa ako ng libro.
Pagka konti lang ho kasi, tumutulong din pong magtinda.
Others are busy posting on their social media accounts or video conferencing with friends. But President Rodrigo Duterte reminds everyone, especially students, to minimize using gadgets like cell phone.
Better just stay home and study. That is my advice. Pero kung ayaw ninyong sundin, you stick with your cellphone. Ang gagraduate yan, ang cellphone mo, hindi ikaw.
Because of the home quarantine protocol, many people have a lot of time to improve their physical fitness.
Sumba-sumba lang para rin siyempre healthy ang katawan.
Martin Aloba teaches his children. He also imposes very strict regulations for them, such as regular cleaning, disinfecting, and avoiding going outdoors.
Kailangan matuto sila nung mga gawaing bahay dahil pag may pasok, hindi naman sila nakapokus sila sa pag-aaral. Kapag nilabag ang rules, kumpiskado ang cellphone.
The Philippine government and even the World Health Organization warned that although most COVID-19 cases are older adults, The youth must not be complacent. Instead of going outside, why not think of more productive things to do? Dan Tiamento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A UNTV News and Rescue exclusive. Residents near the Taal Volcano are on their toes after a magnitude 3.4 volcanic earthquake. One barangay official shares that there has been ground shaking in the past 3 days. Jun Soriao reports.
On this video shot by Barangay Secretary Jaisel Mendoza, a landslide in this part of the Baywalk in Barangay Subic Ilaya, Goncillo Town, Batangas Province yesterday is apparent. It was only for a brief moment, but for those who saw this and were physically there, this is a clear warning. Mendoza told UNTV News and Rescue that Barangay Security Force called him up after seeing steam rising from the Taal Volcano's crater. Afterwards, they immediately checked on it. While taking pictures of the scene, they felt the ground shaking beneath them.
Malimit po ditong lumindol po nitong mga araw po ito.
Mga ilang araw nyo nang nararamdaman yung lindol?
Mga 3 na ho.
This caused worry among residents who have just come home from evacuation centers after the volcano erupted on January 12.
May mga nagpunta po doon po sa mga barangay po para po daw makalaya po doon ng konti.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, recorded today 93 volcanic earthquakes. 6 of those registered magnitude 1.8 to 3.4 in the last 24 hours. Intensity 1 and 2 was felt in barangays Banyaga, Bilibinwang, and Subic Ilaya. Weak emission of steam-laden plumes was observed from the main crater and from fissure vents along the Daang Castilla Trail. Residents are continuously warned by authorities that although the volcano's status is at alert level 1, there are still threats of phreatic explosions, volcanic earthquakes, minor ash falls on the volcano island. Entry to the barangays on the volcano island remains prohibited. Jun Suriao, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
2 police officers were relieved from their posts after being flagged down at the checkpoint in Cagayan. The 2 cops might even get dismissed from service. Lea Ilagan details why.
The Police and Protection Group, or PSPG, has begun its investigation on 2 police escorts flagged down at a checkpoint in Cagayan together with 22 alleged POGO workers. PSPG Police Escort Division Chief Police Colonel Alan Manibog says Police Senior Master Sergeant Harold Corpus and Clifford Ventura have been relieved from their post. The 2 police escort explained they were bound for Santa Ana, Cagayan to distribute relief goods and medical supplies. The distribution of goods was coordinated with the Mayor of Santa Ana, Cagayan.
Sa kanya, in fact, yung relief goods nakapasok doon sa BLT checkpoint. Yung mga tao, including yung PSP natin, ay bumalik na lang din sila sa Manila.
But Joint Task Force Coronavirus Shield Commander, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar clarifies that even though the group was carrying relief goods, they violated the government's protocol.
Pero kung maraming iba ng mga goods, ibang tao ngayon, kaya nga violation yun. At i-check natin na itong nag-guest sa kanya kung saan galing yung authority ngayon.
General Eleazar says the 2 police escorts might get dismissed from the service depending on the result of the investigation.
Lahat naman ng mga pagkakabalik, iniimbestigahan at pinapatunayan, may corresponding sanction. Suspension o pinakamatindi ay dismissal, pero depende nga sa kaso ngayon.
The convoy left Manila for Santa Ana, Cagayan on March 26. The convoy consisted of 2 trailer trucks loaded with relief goods and 22 individuals believed to be POGO workers. It easily passed through different checkpoints from Manila because of the presence of the 2 police officers, but the group was flagged down in Cagayan. Lea Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, here's Ariel Kamiya live from Takatsuka, Japan. Ariel, good evening.
Good evening, Diego. U.S. President Trump extended his stay-at-home guidelines until the end of April, dropping a hotly criticized plan to get the economy up and running by mid-April. Beverly Sison details why.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Sunday that he will extend the guidelines aimed at slowing the spread of the coronavirus to April 30th from his original target of Easter on April 12th. The reversal by Trump came as the U.S. death toll topped 2,460 from the respiratory disease, with more than 142,000 cases, the most of any country in the world.
The modeling estimates that the peak in death rate is likely to hit in 2 weeks. Nothing would be worse than declaring victory before the victory is won. The better you do, the faster this whole nightmare will end.
Earlier on Sunday, Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said that the pandemic could ultimately kill between 100,000 and 200,000 people in the United States if mitigation was not successful. Trump also called on Congress Sunday to restore the full tax deduction for meals and entertainment in response to the coronavirus pandemic. President Trump questioned the increased need for a mask, urging New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio to look into hospitals requesting hundreds of thousands of masks during the pandemic.
How do you go from 10 to 20 to 300,000, 10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different? Something's going on, and you ought to look into it as reporters. Where are the masks going? Are they going out the back door? I think it's maybe worse than hoarding, but check it out. Check it out.
On March 25th, Trump issued an executive order to prevent hoarding of essential medical equipment to deal with the coronavirus pandemic, including ventilators and masks. The executive order authorized the U.S. government to directly target hoarders who can be criminally prosecuted. But with the infection rate rising rapidly, there were reports of shortages of vital protective equipment in hospitals in hard-hit New York, where healthcare workers are hiding supplies, such as face masks from colleagues in other departments. Beverly Sison, UNTV News and Rescue, USA. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Prisoners set fire to the canteen of jail in northeastern Thailand, and several inmates escaped during a riot on Sunday that was sparked by rumors of a coronavirus outbreak, a senior Justice Ministry official told Reuters. Officials said a small group of prisoners who received a life sentences earlier this week spread the rumor that the facility is unsafe for COVID-19, and hundreds of prisoners joined them in staging the riot. The Thai government has stopped all prison visits since March 18 in a bid to stop the coronavirus spreading across the country's overcrowded correctional facilities. As countries around the world face the same problems, from lack of isolation rooms to social distancing to fight the coronavirus pandemic, some have used their ingenuity to solve their problems. Kath Dumaraos reports.
In India, lacking space in their homes, villagers in India's eastern state of West Bengal who need to self-isolate themselves are taking to the trees to keep their families and neighbors safe from the coronavirus. 7 villagers who recently returned from the southern city, Chennai City, to Purulia district were advised by a doctor to isolate themselves for 14 days, have hoisted beds into the branches of a tree or built platforms where they will stay during the quarantine period. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi asked the country's 1.3 billion people this week to stay indoors for 3 weeks in the world's biggest lockdown, seeking to curb the spread of the illness. In Mexico, a grocery store in Tuculao, southwestern Mexico, installed makeshift barriers to protect its staff and customers amid the coronavirus pandemic. The supermarket installed plastic barriers made of cling film and wood on all cash registers in the store to help with social distancing and to prevent the spread of infection. Customers said that the measure were a good attempt to stop the spread of coronavirus, but it was not enough. Mexican health authorities announced on Saturday that there was a total of 848 confirmed cases in Mexico and 16 deaths. And in Colombia, the Colombian National Police is resorting to creative methods to urge citizens to stay in their homes during the quarantine to prevent further spreading of coronavirus. In Medellin, a funeral car carrying a coffin and wreaths drove through the streets of the city while issuing alert messages for citizens to stay in their homes during the state of emergency. In the northern Colombian city of Barranquilla, police used drones with loudspeakers to warn people to stay home. On Wednesday, Colombia began a nationwide lockdown until April 13 with strict movement restrictions across the country designed to reduce community spreading of the virus. Colombia has reported 702 cases of the disease and 10 deaths. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the stories from around the globe. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, RL Kamiya, reporting live from Takatsuka, Japan.
As help continues to flow for medical frontliners, messages of love and support also come their way, even for Filipino workers abroad who wish to come home. Nina Armilio has the story.
Amid the health crisis the country and the rest of the world is facing, it is not the time to contradict one another. Instead, this is the time to join hands, peoples and countries, to address the needs of COVID-19 patients and frontliners. Help us come and keeps on arriving. Not only that, but also songs to send out messages of support. Several individuals and groups have thought of doing just that. In the medical city, a group of employees dedicated a song of hope to their fellow health workers who are medical frontliners. Aspiring singer and songwriter and future media practitioner Abigail Hilario dedicates her song composition entitled Walang Atrasan, or There's No Backing Out, to all frontliners.
Doktor, nurse, gwardya, bahagi ng media, sa kapulisan, sundalo, sa ating gobyerno at sa iba pang naglilingkod para masolusyonan ang problemang kinakaharap natin.
Meanwhile, these three Filipino workers in Malas Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, jammed living on a jet plane dedicated to their fellow OFWs who wish to come home to the country amid what's happening around the world.
I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go.
And for everyone who must stay home, do stay at home. This is the least we can do to help our frontliners and our government to reduce the possibility of further transmission of the deadly viral disease. If we truly love them, as we say we love them, let us also include them in our daily prayers for the pandemic to be over, for us to win the battle. Pray for the patients, the frontliners, and the world. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
This is my fight song, take back my life song, prove out my right song. My power stands.
Billie Eilish sang on her sofa. Elton John played a keyboard belonging to his children. And the Backstreet Boys sang in harmony from 5 locations as dozens of musicians put on a fundraiser for those on the front line against the coronavirus pandemic. Those who performed from their homes for the Heart Living Room Concert for America also included Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Camila Cabello, Shawn Mendes, and Sam Smith. The 1-hour show, broadcast on Fox Television without commercials, was the biggest joint effort in the biggest joint efforts in the pandemic to lift spirits, raise money for those in the front lines, and remind Americans to wash their hands and keep their distance. The amount raised was not immediately known, but more than $1 million were donated in the first 10 minutes.
Our kasangbahay, we are at a time when the country is under a state of health emergency. The cooperation of all Filipinos is imperative to avoid the deadly virus. We are calling on everyone to be calm.
And most importantly, let us join together in prayer for our country and for the whole world to survive this crisis. You may join us in our daily UNTV community prayer like this one that you are seeing on your television screen. And those are the reasons behind the news. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And I am Angelo Castro III, because we need to know. We will always ask why. Good evening.